Much better day today at the office. Not without its wrinkles. Memory made a little break leaving. I'm not sure that he ever has in his life. If he did, it was maybe once or twice. I can tell you why. Captain Incredible was good, but he was at his outside knee a little bit. You can see him the last 3/8 of the mile, especially halfway down the lane in the last quarter. If you watch close, you can watch him hit his knee and bounce off it. Again, I think there's lots we can do. One, first and foremost, I guess I'll start the entire video by saying I had arrived at the track today, warmed up, and even I thought the track was a little hard for Kentucky. And then I saw a couple of horsemen. I saw Nancy going on the track, and she was a little angry that the track was as firm as it was. Still, it never really dawned on me. Keep in mind, we've been on Northfield where the track was hard or soft or not good. So you're dealing with all that, and you believe when you retreat to Lexington, it's this beach, right? It's this sandy, beautiful place. I keep telling you guys, it's like a different planet. So as I was walking up to the grandstand today, an official actually told me he thought the track was far too hard as far as Lexington standards are concerned. Again, it really didn't dawn on me until I was in the grandstand. If you've ever been at Lexington, when the horses go by, you can barely hear them hit the ground. It's the weirdest thing. It's impressive. But today, you can hear them plainly hit the ground. So the track was hard. Front end was holding up. Speed was there. You saw, that first race. You have a 2-year-old pacing colt going 48-2. Wow. Another one going 49-3. Now, these are horses, obviously, in comparison to the horse we're going to talk about today of ours. Here's a horse that these horses have had 4, 5, 6 starts lifetime. Different bracket as of yet. So, this is in my mind now. I'm thinking this is why Pickpocket showed a little roughness last week. Memory and Imagination didn't get off the car as well last week. How's Captain Incredible going to be over this track? This is the track I wanted to get him on because it was softer, right? I post-braided Pickpocket where his hobbles were at the Meadowlands. And at the Meadowlands and at Mohawk were in the second in the bike, and the hobbles were in the second hole. I post-braided and the hobbles were very loose. Pull them up a little bit, keep going, and score them down a little bit, they're still loose. By the time I went to the gate, they were in the 8th hole. Second in the bike, 8th in the hole, 8th in the hobbles. And he won. Raced great, 27 apiece to the end of it, 53, as good as he's raced. But those hobbles were 3 inches difference than last week, or that they've been in the recent future, in the recent past. 3 inches, 6 holes difference. And this is probably because his feet were stinging him a bit, shortened his gait up a little bit. Went out the track with Memory and Imagination. I know I want to get out of there. Everybody knows I'm leaving, and when you're 20-1. And everybody inside you doesn't want you leaving off the car, everyone's going out of there a little bit. I like Scotty's horse. I don't want to get in a position where I'm, second on the outside and push. You leave hard enough, track's big enough in Kentucky, they'll usually just cut you loose and remove coming past the quarter. Nobody really needs, you don't really see anybody get parked the whole way in Lexington very often. Maybe in an overnight, but not in a stake race. Not generally speaking. I go out of there, puts a step in, makes a break coming off the car. Now, quick break, he got back trotting, spotted them maybe 8, 9, 10 lengths from front to where he was. But come right up trotting, caught back up and get in position. Trots a mile 54 flat, beats 6, 7 lengths probably, 28 on the end of it. I dare say, had he not made a break and I got away in the 2 or 3 hole, he's headed to the winner's circle. Raced very, very good. Now, I'm not going to, that's my fault. Sure, I could have steadied him a bit. I just finished telling you, though, looking left the way that everybody was kind of posturing on the gate. I was going to have to get out of there. I was going to have to assert myself and insert myself in that race quickly. or just take the 5 and 6 hole and ride it out, and I don't want to do that. It just happened. He said, Eric, we'll just pull his hobbles up one hole. What I did notice too, and Kathy noticed it also, the pulley underneath, he was touching it a bit. He gets up pretty high. Remember, he wears elbow boots, so it's not that shocking that he would do that. It's an easy fix, right? Raise the pulley up. It's adjusted on the belly side of the hobbles. Raise that pulley up 3 holes. And raise that pulley up 3 holes. He won't touch that anymore, but that isn't why he made a break. He just, I think, again, I don't mean to pick on the track because somebody else mentioned it, but it was a little odd that Pickpocket's hobbles had to come in a lot. That was very odd. And memory and imagination never runs, ever. I think he just put a step in leaving out of there, rolled off quick. Then now I'm on my way home and I'm digesting all this. There's nothing we can do now. Captain Incredible trained good this week, warmed up good this week. I said to Scotty, there's no rush. You know, everything for this guy is later on in the season. We just want to have, just drive him like you know him. Right? You know all the information I need to tell you about the horse. Drive him accordingly. And he did. Got away easy. You could tell he was touching his knee coming out of the last turn, and his message, which is on my phone, was clear. He said, very nice colt, lots, big engine, touching his outside knee, slightly throughout the mile, more so on the end of it when obviously he's pacing faster. And then after the wire, you give it a couple of good taps. It's because his feet are sore and he's tired. And he just paced as hard as he could the whole way down the lane. Now, I'd said this to Harry, and again, training on a 5/8 and then going to the Stone Dust track at Mohawk, I felt his hobbles were too tight. And that's what they needed to be to get the job done. He paced 26 at the end of it, similar to today. But now we're going to go to work. Block his feet, work on his feet. We're going to change his shoes up front a little bit. I know Eric had mentioned a half run, half switch, which I normally you wouldn't do for a pacer, especially a young horse with his caliber, his speed. But again, we're in Kentucky. Not a lot of grab used in Kentucky, so yeah, maybe. I guess that is actually. And when I thought about it more, I'm like, maybe he's right. Maybe that would help. Put a little bit of borium on the outside of the toe, lower that outside. Now, you don't want to start lowering him too much because now you're putting undue pressure in different spots of his knees, right? You start loading pressure in different areas. You take those feet and you lower them a little bit, you're going to put pressure a little bit in different spots of his knees. So just be careful in doing that. But we will lower him a little bit, put a little borium on the outside, put a set of half round, half swedges on him. Let those hobbles out 2 or 3 holes for his next start. And I wouldn't doubt they could go out a little bit after that also. 2 or 3 holes for his next start. Still on that left line, we have a Murphy blind and a line pull. I think a head pull, he's just going to lay up on it a little more. We could go to a jawbreaker and a bit burr, or we could just jog him in a head pull and see how he is like that. That might actually, regardless of how we race him, it might make more sense to jog him with a head pull on. He's worn head pull on the outside, plenty training anyway, inside and outside. But I'm curious, is he going to lay up on top of it? So maybe a burr head pull on the outside to jog and a Murphy blind. If he straightens up with that on, then so be it. You don't need the other hardware. Just go that way. I think there's a lot to improve on, which says a lot for a 2-year-old pacing colt that just paced 153 flat, kind of last half 54 and a piece last quarter, 26 and 4, 26 and 3, 26 and 4, I think. When you say there's a lot you can improve on, obviously when you're talking about the top end of the food chain right now in Kentucky, yeah, you'd want to improve a lot. That's 4.3 seconds slower than the top Sire Stake division on the card today. That's how crazy that is. And I'm certainly not going to try and draw lines and comparisons and paths to or towards a mile like that. That would be silly. I just think that there's a lot of improvement for this colt. Where that starts, where that ends, what that looks like, I don't know yet. But he's a fast colt. I was happy with him. Everybody should be happy with him today. He's learning. He paced hard at the wire. He paced hard throughout the mile. And nothing mechanically that I heard of or saw today is unfixable. I believe it is. So I was happy with everybody today. I believe Pickpocket raced awesome. 53 and 1, 27 and 4. Not often you see 27-second speed on the end of it from Pickpocket. You know, for you young drivers out there, everybody makes mistakes. I was scoring Pickpocket down, and when I pulled him up, I pulled him to the inside, and I saw that mound and that culvert area that Dave Miller hit today. Horse made a break. He just, natural reaction is a safe drive. is to let the horse coast off the track a bit. I knew what was there. And as soon as I heard, I'm finishing up, and I heard Tim Tetrick yell, "Anthony, horse loose horse." I turn around, I see it was Dave Miller's horse. Immediately, I thought, I bet you hit that mound of dirt that I saw. It shouldn't be there. It should be fixed. And I know that Dave said he was fine. His ego more than anything, you know, a professional like that, to get drugged behind a horse a little, it's embarrassing, but it happens. What are you going to do? It's horse racing. All types of manners of embarrassment and frustration happen in this game every day to everyone, including Dave Miller. So luckily he was okay. But Pickpocket raced fantastic. I think again, maybe Dave had a better thought process than I did, but from where I was standing when I moved Pickpocket, he was a winner. He was going to run that horse down. And then when he did make a break and he cleared the lead, I'm glad to see him trot away from him. The horse was good today. Little concerning that we had to pull those hobbles in that much, but he was good today. And when it comes to memory and imagination, pitch that out. He didn't want to make that break. I think, now, this is important. When we started him this year, when he raced everywhere, he wore flip-flops on. We're going to Kentucky. We took those off. Just got a set of trotting shoes on now. Remember I told you the track was hard. I think it just stung him a little bit leaving the car when he was going to get up out of there. And he just rolled off for a stride. Never put another step in the whole way. So I think there's tons of stuff we can work on with these horses. But I guess the underpinning of the entire day was that everybody raced great. It was a good day of work, and we can work on everything from the bottom up with those three horses today. Really, really happy with what I saw today. So I'm on my way home. We're all done racing. I'm not too far from being done driving. I'm an hour from Brunswick. I've been answering emails and talking to people and texting all day. Got back in the car, made my way back home, and I know I saw the draw on Prince Edward Island. 7-hole and 8-hole in PEI. I saw it. I don't think anybody will be surprised to hear that there'll be no retreat coming off the car with Save America on Saturday. And there's nothing wrong with that. Scotty said he gets off the car good. You know, nobody wants to park anybody that's going to burn them into the ground. We might have to pay a little bit of a ticket getting there. But that's racing. Not much we can do about it. I'm not so sure that 9 would have been a worse draw than 8 when it comes to this particular horse anyway. I was more disappointed that Rock Shining Star, you know, the two worst draws in the entire race are stable entries. Not too happy with that, but that happens. It'll be a good race either way. It's Prince Edward Island, it's Charlottetown. I would love to draw the rail. Instead, we drew the opposite. But that is the way the cookie crumbles, and we will deal with it accordingly. They're both sharp coming in. It's a horse race. It's a half-mile track. Anything can happen. And yes, I did see Chicago Hall drew 9. Not a very good draw in stake race finals on Saturday evening, now did we? The only horse that drew remotely good was Time Is On My Side. We get the 8-hole with Ready for Landing in the Beale Consolation. We get the 8-hole with Save America. We get the 7-hole with Rock Shining Star. And we get the 9-hole out of 9 with Chicago Hall. Racing gods were not kind to us this weekend, but we'll endeavor to move forward. We aren't the first, and we won't be the last people to draw the outside, and hopefully not the last people to win from there. We'll see. So with that, your video's done. My day is done. Your day is done. Lots more racing going on the rest of the week.